Hi guys, it's Rachel, and this is a quick word on It's Been Done Before. It's Been Done Before is one of the most effective personal internalizations for why we can't do whatever it is we're trying to do. In business, in our personal lives, with the content that you put on social media, with the book that you're trying to write, with the podcast you're trying to create. I hear this again and again and again from the people in my community. They're like, oh, Rachel, I want to write, my version of Girl Wash Your Face, but like it's been done before. Or like, oh, I want to be a photographer in my hometown, but there's already a few photographers and they're really successful. And, I could never. Or, I'm a real estate agent and I really want to use social media to promote my business, but there's also a few people who do real estate in my town and they're using it and I don't want them to think that I'm copying them. And we get into this huge spiral that robs us of time. So we don't want to copy and we don't want to have anyone say that we're trying to do something that's already been done or that we're trying to be like somebody who already exists. But y'all, everything's been done before. Literally everything. And the only variable that is different in this situation is that it hasn't been done yet by you. It hasn't been done yet in your voice, with your perspective, with your unique wisdom, with your storytelling. That hasn't been done before. So you just got to try. You've just got to put yourself out there and see what happens. And let me tell you right now from the start, when you first start creating content, writing words, having a podcast, pushing your business to the next level, hiring your first employee, having your first kid, like going back to college, it doesn't matter what it is. When you are doing something you've never done, you are going to suck. Let me just give you that gift. You're going to suck because you haven't done it before. And the question is, can you get your ego out of the way for long enough to suck a little bit less? Because let's be real, when people say that they're afraid of failure, most of the time, what they're actually afraid of is other people watching them fail. And that's a huge difference, right? There's a huge difference between being afraid that you're going to screw up because you will, because you don't know what you're doing, and being afraid that other people are going to watch you screw up. And to that, I would say, first of all, very few people are actually paying attention to what you do right now. I'm going to give you the same advice that I give my teenagers. You think that everyone is thinking about you. They're not. They're thinking about themselves. And if people start to pay attention to what you're doing, well, that's the price of admission for anything that you want to do that puts yourself out there. Like if you want to be a bakery owner in a small town, even if you're not on the internet, you're still putting yourself out there. You're offering a product or service or an idea up to the world. And you're like, hey, I think this might be a thing. Is this a thing? The reality is, maybe part of it's a thing and maybe the package that it's inside of still isn't great because you just haven't done it enough to figure out exactly what it is. Now, all of that being said, one thing I know for sure is that when we start any new thing, we tend to model behavior. We look at people that we assume or believe are experts in the field that we're trying to become an expert in, and we do what they're doing. We model their behavior because we don't know yet how to act like ourselves in this new environment. That is so freaking normal. When I first started doing keynotes, I remember going on stage wearing high heels and a dress. And if you know me, you know how absolutely insane that is. I can barely stand in high heels, let alone walk around on a stage. And I tend to have a lot of energy when I'm on stage and I'm moving around and I'm doing a thing, and high heels and that and me, it doesn't work. And actually in one of my first keynotes, like big keynotes, I was wearing high heels, and halfway through the speech, I stopped and I told the audience, I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't even walk. And I literally took my shoes off and did the rest of the conversation barefoot, which is pretty unprofessional, but what I needed to do to be able to show up in that space as myself. But I'll tell you what, if I didn't look at the other experts and see the men in their button-down suits and the women in the high heels, if I didn't research and study what they were doing, I don't know that I would have had the courage to ever get up on stage for the first time. So I think it's super normal and actually a great strategy to look at what other people are doing and try it and see how that feels, and then augment it as you go. I know so many of you have these dreams of having missions and jobs with purpose and changing your family's life, changing your community's life, changing the world. I believe that's possible, but it's only possible if you're willing to show up as yourself. And you can't figure out who that self is if you won't even get started on the project because you have decided that someone else has done it, they've already done it better, and there's nothing that you can offer to this equation. I have one perspective. I only know the life that I have lived. But you have a totally different perspective. You're bringing something totally different to the mix. So just freaking start. Tell the voice in the back of your head that keeps telling you someone else has already done it to shut up. Not today. Today, you start showing up as you.